school districts spent more than $1 billion with a B dollars on new schools and renovations in 2018.
So we asked our Beyond the Books unit to kind of look into the spending spree. Chris?
Well, guys, when you drive by your local school, chances are it's new, chances are it's gleaming, and definitely you paid for it. But are you getting your money's worth? The district says yes. Critics say you could do better.
You know, Chris, if the school districts are so short of money,
Since we started our education unit,
I'd like to know where they get the money
questions
to spend and build a monstrosity.
about the cost of school construction
And the place is bigger than Hill's Theater.
have been flowing in to Beyond the Books.
Those are big dollars.
And
Some price tags I've seen.
with very good reason.
$75 million, $100 million, $110 million.
Wow.
In 2018, Utah schools spent $1.2 billion on new construction and renovation projects. And in the Canyons district, Beyond the Books has learned the district has asked voters to allow them to take out more than $500 million in bonds for school construction over the past 9 years. They are rebuilding Hillcrest High, Brighton High, and adding an addition to Corner Canyon High. And at Alta High.
And this one will cost you how much?
This particular project is going to be about $53 million.
Constructing a new performance arts center and doing major renovations.
What do you say to those people who've been critical of the amount of money that's been spent on some of the schools?
Canyon spokesman Jeff Haney.
Over 50 years, 138,000 students will be coming here, and we will be providing to them a world-class education.
You went to the old Granger High School, right?
I did.
And your kids are here, right?
They are.
Karen Winder is an alum of Granger High. She is also the president of the Granite School Board.
Granger High means a lot to this community. It is a center of pride.
She says in Utah, where kids can go to almost any school they want, the new Granger High had to compete for students. And this new gleaming $70 million structure appears to be doing its job.
Before the new Granger was built, we had about 1,700 kids enrolled. After it was opened, we had over 3,000, which shows you that kids were choosing to go elsewhere.
Why do you think that there is such this arms race, for lack of a better word?
I think that's something we need to question, why we're spending these kind of mega dollars on these huge campuses.
Senator Bramble. Thank you, Mr. President.
Wayne Niederhauser spent 13 years in the Utah State Senate, and during his time, he says he was floored by the growing size of Utah schools and the price tags that went along with them.
Every community gets pretty proud of their high school, but we're talking about precious school dollars that we need to be spending on educational outcomes.
And he says when it comes to construction costs, Utah charter schools might have those right outcomes.
What is it that you do that makes it, I guess, cheaper or less expensive?
This is Sheldon Kilpatrick.
You design based off of the functionality.
The former Utah State Senator runs One West Construction. They build charter schools, and they are doing it for a fraction of the cost of district schools.
We worked with one school and built a high school for 1,000 students, and the entire project came in at just shy of $22 million.
Wow, that's a big difference. Some proponents of charter schools say, look, we build charter schools at a third the cost of a regular traditional school.
Okay, how many charter schools have been around for 100 years?
Haney with Canyon says these charter schools are not built to last like a district school, which has a life expectancy of nearly a century.
But my question back is, why are we building 80 to 100-year buildings? Because demographics change over that time.
Look at Ochre Hills Elementary. The school will shut down soon, in part because of performance, but also in part because of dropping enrollment.
20, 30 years ago, lots of kids in that area. Not so much anymore. More grandma and grandpas living there than mom and dads.
Yes, we're willing to invest in the future of our children.
The districts say they know where the growth is, and they say it's around schools like Granger High.
And they're choosing to be here. There's less absences, there's a lot more school pride, and graduation rates are on the rise here.
So if you're saying to yourself, look, this is ridiculous, keep in mind, you approved it. All of these projects are results of bond issues that you voted for. The schools don't build anything unless they ask you first. And as for that money in the bond issue, they got to go to buildings. They can't go to books, teacher salaries, or pencils. Also, if you have an education story that you think needs to be investigated, give us a call.
Yeah, schools don't build unless they have the money to build.
That's right. And they got to ask you and me for that money to do it.
Okay, interesting
We
story.
need to study those bond issues before we.
Yeah, don't
actually
just
vote.
like check it off.
Right.
Know what they're talking
And
about.
then be mad after the fact,
That's
right?
right.
All right, Chris, thank
Thanks,
you.
Chris.
You bet.